Hey guys, I thought I'd take this time to kind of reflect back on how we got to this stage so far. Remember this pond, we started with this property, 20-acre site that had no roads, no building sites. It was just a sloping property that started at the top of the hill where my fence is and dropped over 100 feet down to the bottom. So we had Chad the dirt guy who came in and worked his magic for probably close to a year. He's been on and off of this property, and I had a couple of big hills. Luckily this property had extra dirt because we took one mound, a big hill if you will, and took all that out, and the site where my barn is going in took all that dirt, and that's what created the backside or the dam of the pond. This huge equipment was there constantly going. The meter was going as well. I don't even know what the total is. My wife, she doesn't even ask, so that's a good sign. She's on a need-to-know basis. So as we continued to build the pond, at one stage we thought we were all done until the pond guy from Habitat came out and said, your pond is not deep enough. You need to be at least 12 to 16 feet in the middle, which meant Chad the dirt guy comes back again, brings out all his heavy equipment, and that's where I think we took a lot of the dirt off the site for where my barn is going to raise the dam up another, I think 4 to 5 feet. So the next phase is going to be making it pretty. Here's a picture of the landscape plan that we're doing. We have to build a waterfall. I got to build like a casita. As long as it's under 200 square feet, it does not need a permit. So I am definitely going to take it right up to 199.5, maybe 0.9% of square footage so I can get this thing going. So stay tuned for that. All right guys, we're on the side where on the far end of my property is where we're clearing a pad to put a 60 by 100 barn. I'm gonna do it out of metal. Chad's been working with me to get the right location, but we have quite a slope as you can see. So Dale's cutting down the hill behind us, moving dirt this way, and we're gonna put it at a little bit of an angle. So I'm excited. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. This is where all the trees have been laying around the property for the last couple of years. There's several piles. Everything is being moved here, and you're going to be in for quite a treat when my wife lights the match for the ultimate bonfire. So I was a little bit of a bind. I needed to get this pile of debris out of my future pond, and we're short on equipment. So as luck would have it, that was laying around in Flair's backyard, that excavator. So we took it, brought it over to my house. Chad's got extra guys working. We're loading it all up. Soon this will be all cleared out and the burn pile on that end of the property, and this will start filling full of water. Let's see if I can beat Flair to the punch on whose pond fills up quicker. Think I should tell Flair that we borrowed his excavator, or do I just wait and say, ask for forgiveness? Say, I'm sorry, keys are in it, I didn't know. That's usually has worked for me most of my life. When I ask for it, they say no, but if I ask for forgiveness, we get a pond built. That thing is like a great big thumb that grabs the stuff on the bottom. He makes it look super easy. That comes with years of experience. If I was driving that, I would have hit the dump truck, trashed the white truck, and never gotten a log in the back of the pickup. So always good to hire smart. I don't know about you guys, I never get tired of this stuff. Here he comes, see if he's got a horn on her. There we go, we got a horn. You dropped a log. Oh, missed it by that much. They have now officially started bringing in dirt to build the dam. That dump truck moves on the other side. They're taking all the dirt out where I'm building the pole barn, actually the metal barn. And Dale up there with the cat is scraping off the top layer, and that's topsoil that he's storing. And he's gonna have to clean that whole hillside off. I hope he remembers I have some apple trees inside all that nasty weeds. My wife will freak if he starts mowing those down, so I gotta mark those out here real soon. But you're seeing the official start of the pond. Earlier I tried to get my camera out, that pile of wood. There was a little woodchuck running around the excavator when these guys left for lunch, wondering what the heck has just happened to his house. So he looked a little confused, and we saw him running that way looking for another wood pile. Dale over here is waiting for the dump truck, which they're filling up at one end. They're lowering down this road to take the dirt, because my pond guy came out and said he wants this thing about 15 foot deep. You can see the first layer, that was about 10 foot deep. So they've raised it up another 5, and we're using that shelf is where we're going to have to shelf all the way around this pond. Is when they bring the liner up, they shelf it. That's where all the filtration system goes. The bigger rocks holds everything in place. And then we take the liner up one more time to create kind of the beach area. Dale's over here now grading off the backside of this huge dam. The thing is so expensive. I want this to be done with. Should be just about there. Chad tells me he just needs a few more days to finish this up. And I'll take you guys down and show you how they're lowering this road to get the dirt out of here to move it to the dam. And then they're building a road to the barn site. So here comes the big dump truck. It's got a tiny little horn. Sounds like this, beep, beep. Dale, he loves to honk that little horn. That tells the dump truck guy he's gone far enough. I hope he honks before he rolls all the way down the hill. Oh, there it is, I told you. I don't know why, I never get tired of watching these heavy equipment go back and forth. It'd be a lot more fun if my meter wasn't running, but at least you guys are enjoying it at no cost. Okay, every action has a reaction. The dam got taller. This was the road that we were taking down to the greenhouse and the chicken coop. As you can see, the dam's getting so wide and big. Look at the dump truck. This road is no good anymore. He's got to make a whole new road going right by the chicken coop. I don't think he's got very good eyesight, so I didn't want to hang around too close to him. Well, put that on the punch list for Chad on more repairs. Add a horn to the big dump truck. So down here at the bottom of this valley, we've even dug it out a little bit more. I don't know if they dug it out. Yeah, they did. They dug it out to lower this, because I'm going to be putting in a barn that's 100 foot long and about 60 foot wide. And I've been teetering with, I do a pole barn, a metal barn. So there's also a new product I'm out here looking at right now that's a wall system that has rigid foam on the inside and OSB on both sides. So it's a panel, and it's kind of like those commercial buildings we've been showing you, but this is all out of wood, very highly insulated. So I'm getting some prices on that. That's a third option. So if I build it, I want this to be forever, and I want it to be insulated really well, and that's one way of doing it. So the idea would be is we would drive down and there'll be a parking area. Hope this isn't too muddy. We'll come in here and there'll be about a 80 by 60. All this will be parking, and at about right in this area, starting about right now, then this, here we're spinning, is all going to be barn. And what I would like to do at this one end, about right here where it drops off, is down the road and eventually is maybe have my office, kind of a man cave. The whole back end is glass because look at those views, and then I could build a deck off of it. So this could be a work in progress, but right now I just got to get a barn in the ground so I can store stuff. The door is going to be a very prominent big 14 by 14 door, kind of looking a little bit like the houses that we've been building here. And then you would drive in, go out the other side. So parking way in the back, so it's out of sight, but the front entry looks nice and pretty. Let me know what you think of that. So this will get a sense of how much dirt that they've been taking down at this pad site. All that has got to be removed, and that's where the road's going to go down to the barn. So all this has come out just to raise that pond up to the proper height to get me 15 foot deep. So hopefully we're just about done because I'm tired of paying the bills. I like watching the equipment, but I know it costs. So let's get these things out of here and start working on a new project. Hey, I've been doing a cameo, photobombing. Remember the little Sesame Street song, one of these things is not like the other? Well, here I am at Flair's Pond. This one is nothing like my pond. Let me show you. All right, guys, notice anything different here at my pond? I got a mud hole. Holds water, which is not what I want. I need the water out so I can finish working on this thing. Maybe I could give Andrew a few tips or maybe take some of this dirt over to his house.
I'm trying to sex him. You want to help?
What? Is that legal in this state? Kind of reminds me of my gym physical, what you're doing there.
Yeah. Cough.
It's kind of enjoying it. That whole thing is getting a one-piece pond liner, and it weighs close to 4,500 pounds. I have to get my Bobcat. The semi guy is just minutes away, so I want to be ready for him. We're going to offload it, show you guys what it takes. Hopefully we get it down. Our goal is to get it in my garage. So should be able to get it in there. I just don't know. It doesn't have wheels, so that'll be an issue. We got to keep it dry so it doesn't freeze and create problems, even though it's supposed to hold water. I don't understand that, but let's get going. I'll go down and let's start getting the Bobcat fired up because it's a cold day here in Nebraska. This is not a smooth ride, nothing like my Ford F-150. You feel every bump. This is what you call a rigid Bobcat. Forrest Gump would say, that's my house. Okay, here's my pond liner. It came from Michigan. So the guy left yesterday afternoon and made it all the way here. Luckily, it is cold, so we can not worry about mud or we move this thing around. So a couple more days of frozen weather, we'll take it because eventually we gotta get that pond thawed out, dried out, so we can put this liner on it. But you're looking at right there, $22,000. $20,000 for the pond liner and $2 grand for trucking. So I know I spent $22,000 plus. So let's see if mine holds water better than Flair's. So the big guy in the black, that's my brother-in-law, Gary. He has a landscaping business. And we say my sister married the gardener. What kind of timeline when you say, when you unroll it, then you have to dig a ledge all the way around?
We're gonna do that first.
Oh, do that first, okay. Because you tuck this pond
Everything
liner.
When we get out, it'll tuck right into that, into our sloping edge or whatever. We'll probably have to fold it back a little, make sure we have our edge perfect, and then cut it and fold it in.
Let me know if you think that little rock is gonna stop that thing from rolling all the way down the hill. So here we go. We just found out there's a second delivery. There's a truck at the top of the hill with an underlayment liner that goes around the perimeter up the, probably from the water level down about probably 8-10 feet. So that is something that my brother-in-law Gary thought would make a lot of sense for added protection. So we're gonna go up there and offload that right now.
Come right out here and grab it, yeah.
Here's something I found interesting because this pond liner has been folded up a very specific way So when they lay this thing out across that way, they're gonna go over about where that sand pile is at the far end and then roll it all the way across. There is instructions on how to place this and how to unfold it so that it rolls. Because last thing you wanna do is try to pick this thing up and move it around. So there is a little bit of method to this madness. So that will be another video. I wanna give you guys an update on the pond that I've been working on for almost a year. Not as long as what Flair's been working on his, but I'm doing something totally different than what Flair's doing. This literally is going to be a big kind of a swimming pool. So I'm putting in a liner, and the liner I've decided to do is because it's guaranteed to hold water. It's not going to be a fishing pond. I can put fish in it, but it's going to have a filtration system in it. And that's the rim that you see down below. There's a ledge all the way down there. That's going to be about 4 to 5 foot below the water level. And what that's going to do is have a filter system all the way around that runs back just like you have in a swimming pool, but all that will be hidden underneath a bunch of rock and gravel. So we'll have the water will not quite reach the top of the road over here, but it will just be, there's some yellow flags that is going to represent the top of the water, which will be about 2 foot down from the top of the dam. But over here, what I want to do, since I'm on my deck, you can see the patio, we're gonna have some great views of the pond. And this pond liner I've ordered, so it's on its way. If it stays dry, which it's been dry in our state for quite some time, I've been trying to get my pond pumped out. We were ready to go to put the liner in. Remember the race I had against Flair? I've totally lost that race. But so now I'm just trying to get the darn thing done. We've had record rains in May. This is now towards the end of June. And the pond actually is doing a good job holding water, which I don't want because I need to get the liner in this pond, and I need to get the liner that's sitting in my ditch because a tornado blew it in there. So that's going to be a Chad the Dirt Guy video helping us get that thing out of the ditch. But right now, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with trash pumps. They're a pain in the butt. So I went and got my brother-in-law's old trash pump to save some money, worked on it for 2 days, got it running, and the thing does nothing but leak water. It doesn't work. Fire hoses, those are heavy. So then I just went and bought my own trash pump that's not quite big, but it's doing the job. I'm on day 2. So now I'm gonna climb in the water and move that suction hose out a little bit farther. So while I'm at work, this thing keeps pumping water. So sorry that you have to see me without a shirt. The reason why I put this tarp down is I thought it would help divert the water that's coming down the hill, coming out very quickly, help disperse it, because I didn't want a big erosion. This road has been washed out because of the record rains we've had, but the gravel seems to be helping and it's making its way down to the creek. So once we get this all pumped out, then I'll come back and fix this road once and for all. But I talked to Chad the Dirt Guy. He recommends maybe just regrading it and then again just putting down some more rock. So that's what we're going to do. You guys can guess and see how many days it's going to take me to pump that pond down. We're on the first 24 hours and you can see it's only dropped about 3 foot. So give me a guess. this thing did nothing. It took us forever to find it, and then we got all the hoses hooked up, and then it pulls on one start, which is great. But then the time I pulled it, this cord came out and stayed out. So then I had to take it all apart. Once I got it running, got the hoses going, the bottom side seals just leak like a sieve. So there was a lot of work put into nothing. So then now I'm back to day 3, getting this thing pumped out. You can see how it's coming down, but man, that mud is knee deep, and that's what I'm about to get back into. It's out of gas. I let it run as far as it could last night till it ran out of gas. So I'm gonna come in, get in the water, and move that thing out a little bit farther. There's a bullfrog over there looking at me right now. This is his pond. He's not too happy with what I'm doing. Other things I had to do, this thing goes through a lot of gas. So I went to the gas station, filled all these things up. It's 100 degrees right now. It's gonna be heated of 110, and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna get in the water, be refreshing, and take a mud bath. Sorry, little frog. My goal is to get this pond down. It'll be nice when it's all done, but there's one across the street that maybe he could find his way to. Funny how these ponds, how the wildlife just finds them. There's tons of tadpoles. I caught a little one in the drain. That was kind of sad. It's a muddy mess. There we go. Oh, I don't think it's the last time for me to go down there. Shallower it gets, the more difficult it gets for me to move that little trash pump out. I went and got a bunch of logs, and I laid them down and rolled the generator down them just like the Romans did, so they said. That frog's keeping a close eye on me. He's right over there. I'll zoom in on him. Making pretty good progress, but I got my Sunday school clothes on, so I'm dreading the idea of having to go change my clothes to climb down there and get into the mud to move that bucket out into the middle. I still see that little frog. He's paying attention, wondering if I'm going to stop and keep his pond, or I'm going to have to move him to the other side of the road. That is some thick mud, and it's 105 degrees out here right now, so I should go for another swim. What drives me crazy is all these weeds. I'm gonna have Chad see if he can take that cat and come around and scrape all these weeds off, get it all cleaned up like where we were when we were ready to put the tarp down, except for the tornado blew it in the ditch. So that was at least 2 months ago. Time goes by so fast. Now we're gonna get all this cleaned up, let this hole dry out, find a way to get that liner out of the ditch, which Chad says we can use Flair's excavator, come up and he can lift it up back on the driveway where it was at one time. I'll show you where it's at. It was sitting right here where my side-by-side is. Wind blew it all the way down the hill, and there it is, still in the ditch in all its glory. As you can see, the trash pump, which was clearly up on somewhat muddy, dry land, is now underwater because of last night's rain. I told my wife I'd be better off if I procrastinated. I'd be farther ahead. So every time I take a couple steps forward, I take about 10 back. This darn weather can't get this thing done. As you can see, I'm not showing too much of my face, but I'm getting very frustrated with this pond. Okay, here comes Chad the Dirt Guy, AKA the Cavalry. Oh, he's tearing up my yard, and I think he's gonna run over one little tree, which I gave the green light on. Look at this thing plowing through the dirt. Do you think this thing can handle 4,500 pounds?
We're gonna find out. We hope so.
Hope so. Holy cow. This has been a long day coming. It's been 14 weeks since the tornado. Gone fast, but yet it's been slow putting stuff back together. That could be Andrew wondering where his excavator went. It's gotta go right up there by the church bus. Seems to be working. But there goes my yard. I think the outside cover's damaged, but that was the whole idea. There's a liner full of mud. All right, looking good. If I put like some logs or something underneath it to keep it from rolling down the hill.
Might be a good idea, as strong as these winds are we've been having.
Yeah. To be able to grate the pond at all? Or
Yeah. Today, I'm gonna work on it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna start up there and work. I'll head towards the pond.
Okay. I just gotta scrape the whole thing on the inside.
What we probably should do is, if you want to mess with those trees,
The best part about that thing is that you can hardly tell that it's even been here. It's a little bit of dirt. You got some yard work to do. Did you guys ever think that we would see the day? Remember, we started this thing back in March, probably February. We had tornadoes, we had record rains. The thing filled full of water, I pumped it out. Then I even got another pump that I set down there, and it was just getting the last foot of water out. That night, we got 6 inches of rain. Buried my brand new trash pump underwater. There's 600 bucks down the drain. That lasted 2 days. So I bought a new one. We got it drained out. It hasn't rained. It looks like tomorrow's rain. So we got a crew here. We got Eugenio's guys, my brother-in-law's company here, Prone Landscaping, and then we got this all unrolled, and it looks like we got to pull it this way about 20 feet. Okay, Eugenio, tell your guys we're gonna grab the middle part here all the way down, and we're gonna go to the other side. Okay, look at the crew you brought here, Eugenio. I never thought I would see the day that we're able to put this pond liner in. My wife didn't realize how nice it looks once we got it all graded, so now she's excited. Maybe I can forego the pool. What am I hung up on? Hang on. Wow. That chunk falls in the ditch. How come they're doing it They must have the lighter ramp. Grab on this. Come on, Gino!
Come on. Us younger guys, us 39-year-olds can't do it no more.
Yeah, 39 times 2. Uno, dos, tres.
Cool. What do you say? This is cool.
Yeah.
Hey, let's grab this corner now.
We need to go this way, kind of up the hill. Up and to the right. This is what a $22,000 pond liner looks like.
You got the same strength.
This keeps going that way,
We need to keep bringing this up.
and then we'll start going that direction behind
I think what we could do at this point, we could put a tractor up above there, the rest of us in the middle, and just keep pulling it this way.
it. Is that tractor air conditioned? I could.
Yeah, you can have it. You can drive yours.
No, I'm not going to do it. You kidding? I'll run into something. All right. I like to pull on. I need an
Gonna
exercise.
be a few minute break here, guys.
You been pulling?
No, I've just been watching.
I thought, that's what I thought.
Tractors can keep the ends going, then all of us through the center.
Well, I'll be a tractor in the middle.
Do you put it on the driveway?
I think we'll put
Just feed me some,
one of them on the driveway
protein.
and one of them on the road up there.
Okay.
And we'll just
What,
keep pulling
you
it.
have clamps?
Too
you
young,
said,
too
for it?
young for that.
Yeah, we got wood. We're gonna screw right to the liner.
Okay.
You said
And I bought some clamps and we'll just chain them. And okay, guys, we need those chains. Well, the downhill went really fast.
Yeah. It's just uphill start.
It's about, well, that and the mud.
Yeah. Oh, the mud got it.
Yeah, the mud.
240 times 160. That's 38,400.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So
I
an
came up-
acre is 43,000. 43,460.
43,560.
560. 43,560, and we are at 38,400 square feet. 0.88 acres of a lake. Hey, how about that math?
And you're
Thank God
pretty
for
much-
calculators.
And you're pretty much lake right up to the edge because we're only a foot higher.
So this one should hold water better than flares. Flares
did
is
they
holding
use?
water. They did the gunite. Is that
I
right?
thought they-
Not gunite. Put that. What's that gray powder? They trowel.
Bentonite.
Bentonite. There we go. Bentonite. But
Oh,
this is going to be way
1,000
times better. And it's going to be nice and clean. It's got to be like a big swimming pool. Like the Beverly Hillbillies said, it's a concrete swimming hole. There won't no concrete. So we're going to hook up chains on each end. And the way they're going to do it, you're going to sandwich some boards between it, screw them together,
Yep.
hook the chains on, and then pull this thing like a big tarp. Wait, it is a big tarp. Yeah, don't get your fingers in there. So this is where we're going to clamp on to that board. And then the more we pull, the tighter it gets. And we're going to hook this on and pull it with the Bobcat. Why didn't we think of this sooner? We wouldn't have to be sweating like this.
Very nice.
Wayne's got a nice necklace on.
yeah.
Here,
Wayne.
put this one on. Put this one on. There we go. Hey, Wayne, you got
Wayne.
nothing. Look at Eugenio's necklace.
Wayne.
There we go, Eugenio. How do you wear that necklace all day long, Wayne, when it weighs so heavy?
Yeah.
Come on, let me get a picture with you. Look at your necklace there, Wayne. What do you got to do? This, that? I don't know.
I don't know.
This one weighs more than this. Put your nose right in there, Eugenio. One guy wanted $260,000
To do this.
to put this in.
Wow.
I go, I already dug the hole and I created the hole. What the heck?
So what do we get now? There's 160,000.
You get a couple, yeah, you get a sandwich
we
and a
get
bucket of chicken. What's kind of deceiving is I feel like this is the low part of the lake and that's the high part, but it's all been lasered in. But I swear to God, it feels like that needs to be up the hill higher. So I feel like I'm below that, but they say we're not. I trust the laser. All right, so now we got all the guys down here. We have a Bobcat chained to the top of the hill on one end, and then we've got all the guys in the middle pulling, and that Bobcat, which is mine, is going to be hooking on that end. So we're going to pull the ends and have the manpower in the middle. Hopefully it works. All right,
Ready?
you'll tell us when? Bobcats, they've got to be pulling at the same time. So here we go. Now they're in unison. I always pick the heavy end. Is it? One comes undone and the other one doesn't. I think part of the problem is this is the first time for all of us. Huge learning curve, but I think it's going good. It seemed like it goes downhill so much easier than it goes up. I don't know, it might be something to do with physics. How come? Came undone again? Oh, you're shorting it? It's hard to get traction on a hill. Oh, now we're ready? I've been ready. Thing gets full of water soon. I'm doing a cannonball. They have to yell at each other because they can't hear when they're inside a Bobcat. We probably need headsets. We're gonna move a Bobcat to the middle. We gotta screw something on the end of this one now. So now we're getting close enough to, with the chain and all that, we can keep a Bobcat on the other side of the ditch and then hook in the middle. I bet that'll be a lot easier. 1, 2, 3. Getting there, I'd say we're 90% of the way done. That last 10% seems to be the heavy. I dumped water on me before I got started. Spilled my coffee all over my shirt. Got the nut? I got it. What are you doing? Trying new techniques. Been using my knuckles. I got them all wore off. No wonder Wayne wears gloves. Now that it's heating up, this thing is getting hot to the touch. Get it all nice and good. Getting hot. I'm determined.
Say something for YouTuber.
Only thing I bruised was my ego. We officially started filling the pond and I was the first one in. Hey guys, I think I'm halfway with my pond. It's taken quite some time to get to this point. I had to put a liner down. Whenever I went through a tornado, this entire pond liner was in those trees and we got that out. So anyway, we're moving forward. I've been filling this pond up with my garden hose. So luckily I'm on a well, so my meter water bill is not going on, but I'm draining my well. This is probably half full. We are about 8 foot deep in the middle. And what you're seeing is the rock around here has the filtration system in it. Now where you're seeing the lines that Eugenio's been running, that's going to be where we'll call like a bubbler. It's going to shoot out water, jets of water randomly all the way around. So the pond keeps circulating, keeping it nice and healthy, because the goal I'm trying to get done is not have a pond, but make this a swimming pond, because my wife wants a swimming pool. I don't want to have a pond and a swimming pool. Got my work cut out for me to keep this thing looking nice and clean, have a sandy beach over there, maybe a little pool house, and that might satisfy my wife, because I think a pond is way better than a pool. All right, so I'm gonna have these guys, they know, you've told them what they need to do?
Yeah, they get it. They're like, oh, this is easy.
Okay, all right, I just don't like guys standing around, so as long as they got a plan, Logan's got Eugenio going the right direction. Hopefully this stuff, we laid it all out. It's been sitting out in the sun for about 3 hours, 4 hours, so it wasn't a big loop. Now it's stretched out, so now we're gonna lay it around. What exactly, this is gonna be the water flow?
Yeah, this is the jet that'll displace the surface of the water.
And then with this, oh, this is where at random spots you'll add the...
We'll try to space them out pretty equally.
Not a bubbler, but they're like little jets that circulate the water.
Just displace the surface of the
Displace
water.
it, okay. And this is all going to lay down right on top of the rock that we have down there already.
Yep.
Okay, the perforated pipe is
It's our bog line, so it's what pulls in all the water and filters the pond, and then it gets discharged through that. So we're pulling in sort of the colder water from the bottom and pushing it up to the top where the water's a lot warmer, just to kind of moderate that temperature too.
Okay, and what we did last night is we trenched everything back here, and that's where the pump house is going to be to hide all the equipment. And then what we have to do still is create a waterfall, right? So the water that comes to the pump, we have to get it back in the pond. And the best part is, why not make it a water feature, right? Versus going back underwater.
That's going to be the pipe itself that points up towards the surface of the water.
So you're going to cut those in a
everything.
lot of pieces then?
Yep.
And then run them up.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is all the stuff, the under workings, right? I suppose underwater workings to make the pond function and breathe so it doesn't become stale.
I kind of
right?
refer to them as the organs.
The organs of the pond, okay.
The pond itself is going to become its own sort of living, functioning ecosystem. So I always just refer to the plumbing as the organs for it.
Looks like Eugenio's got a pretty good handle on what's going on. I like to supervise from above. This is my job. What we are trying to prevent is any punctures of the liner. Even though this is pretty heavy duty, they don't want anybody, if Eugenio and the guys are walking on it, put a hole in it, we'll never be able to find it. So we're just being safety. My job is good at cleaning up, so that's what I'm doing here. So last night we worked on cutting back, again, this liner, pulling it back because they had it all tucked in. And what was missed was these compression plates, which are pass-throughs. And there's one on both sides, and this is waterproof silicone. This is basically like a cutting board that they cut. So all the water is gonna flow through here down low because we didn't want the pipes. Remember, we wanna keep everything down low, so it's gonna pass through here and go out through the waterfall and back in again. All these pipes are gonna get hooked up, and that's what they're working on with the Schedule 40 PVC type piping. It's like plumbing, be the connection to make all this work. We did this the first time with not being well educated. We've now learned with Logan, we really want to make it look right, keeping everything below water, nothing above. Okay, you guys, since we've been gone driving around town, these guys have been getting a lot of stuff done. These are the little jets that they cut on that pipe that we stretched out this morning, and they went through and they've added these little fittings. They're probably every 20 feet or so, and this is what's going to be like a bubbler. It's going to produce water flowing out, which will keep the pond circulating, and we have this going all the way around the pond. That's exciting. They're getting a lot done. Now they're filling the ditch back in, and then the next thing we're going to be doing, we're going to take this rock that we see here, I have to get more, and we're going to start filling in all that black liner. So from the top down, they want to try to get as much on the other side, but that's going to be a little more difficult. We'll see what we can do. We'll have to come up with a system. Eugenio's pretty creative on being resourceful on how to make this work productively. So we got that done. Moving forward, it's a slow process, but if we do it right, this should be a healthy, fun, long-term pond. Swimming hole is what I want it to be, so I don't have to build a swimming pool. All right, so now we're at the backfill stage, guys. So we've got these manifolds all in place, and you see them sticking out. That's all been compacted dirt. And my buddy Brad, who's got the tornado house we're gonna be working on, that'll be another video. He's helping me drive the Bobcat because he's so good at it, backfilling. And then Wayne is holding back the liner because we have to tuck that back in. So everything was undone. Now we're putting it all back together. The pipes are underground. We got them sticking up in the back. That's where I got to build probably like a little pool house for sure, a little equipment place, because this is a year-round pond, swimming pool, right, Mary? That's my wife. It's going to be a year-round swimming pond. We now are going to, this will be the input. These are the outputs from the pumps. This is going to run to my water feature. Remember, we need to have water that looks like it coming back. It's got to come back out into the pond, but it's going to be much more eye-appealing if we have this big, huge water feature. So that'll come all the way around, go up to the top, have a water feature, and then this side goes around and filters and fills all the piping where we have the little jets coming out that's going to move water movement. So we have all those jets. So everything now here is connected below. Now we're working on under the water stuff. And then we can start bringing in more rock, and I can get the garden hose back out again and start filling this thing up. We just stomp on this. I think if this settles a little bit, we have rock on top, it's no big deal. It's so big. That's the second time we've had to pull this liner out. The first time we had to go all the way around. Now we're just pulling out to get the fittings through, which I keep talking about. Once we get this all back in, now we can start putting the rock around it. I'm excited to put the garden hose in. You gotta tell me, I have to tell me how many days it took to get half full. Now, how many more days with the garden hose with no rain ever, not even in the forecast for the next 12 days, to get it up to the top level. I'm saying it's gonna take I'm guessing at least a month.
So basically, when you're coming back to the pass-through with your poly, which is connected to your jet line, what a lot of people want to do is right off the bat, they want to glue these pieces on right here on both sides. Wrestle this poly onto these fittings, but there's a much easier way to do that. What you do is you put these fittings on the poly first, and then you find whatever your distance needs to be of rigid pipe, and you glue them on using the poly. You move it closer and you glue it on rather than trying to force this thing over these barbs. What I've had coworkers do in the past, it makes it way more difficult for us, is they'll glue this on like that, and then all of a sudden we meet back at this pass-through with this pipe and we have to wrench it over that rigid pipe, and we also have another one coming from another direction. So once we're trying to get both on, we're putting a lot of stress and tension right at the pass-through. And that's like the one thing you don't want to compromise when you're working on a project like this. Just to reiterate, you put these together first and then you connect it. Based on the height of the jets, depending on the water level, what we can do is instead of having them down, this is just how Gino arranged it. Conveniently, it's a threaded part, so we can aim this whole pipe backwards this way, bury this in to the dirt, and just have that pointing right up at the surface of the water. It's a lot of flexibility.
So I thought everything was going to be bubbling up down here. So we want just agitating the surface of the water.
Yep, exactly. The reason I left it so excessive is because it's probably going to be different along the edge of the pond. So once you get everything buried up and you start to put that water in, you just trim the excess off. That's the concept with most things. So the same thing with the stream over there is we're going to add a bunch of dirt so that then we can shave away and make our shape, you know?
All right, I got to order more rock.
Oh yeah, you're going to be ordering rock like crazy.
Some of this Whew. I didn't know how much work this was. We got a lot of guys helping, and it seems to be going pretty good. The scary part is I gotta buy a lot more rock, which is very expensive. So we're trying to stretch it out as much as possible. We don't need 2-foot piles on top of stuff. So since we're filling the pond up, now they tell me they'd like to see some of this rock in there. Now they tell me. I'm not draining the pond. I'm just gonna throw it in like that. Anybody keeping track of this? Oh my God, this is just gonna take forever filling the pond like this. Like a, what? Oh, I'm using the hose. What'd you think I was doing? So guys, as you can see, this has been quite a labor of love, and it was a project that got a little bigger than what I had thought it was going to be. I knew it was a big pond, I just didn't know how involved and complicated it was going to be. The complication comes from making sure this thing holds water and then keeping the water clean and clear. And that's why I brought in Logan with Total Habitat. He is the expert, does this full-time, all the time. And so I've always learned, being a contractor, it's not only having the right tool for the job, but you need to have the right people for the job. It's worth paying the experts for their expertise. So there is Logan, has come in, put in the filtration system. We got the little bubbler jets all the way around it, so it's constantly staying clean. I guess we're constantly moving water is how I should say it. The movement of water does a pond well. And so the plants and vegetation, all that is what's gonna have to come in later on, probably in the spring. The next thing going forward is building the landscaping, which really is the water feature fire pit. And I've got the plan here to show you what the master plan is, and that's gonna be the next phase. We're gonna be starting on that here next week. And weather permitting and no rain, which we haven't had in 2 months, we should be able to get all the limestone. Actually, it's not limestone, it's a sandstone. There's the key. Limestone in the water puts off, I forget the right term, but causes algae. So we want sandstone or these granite boulders. And the boulders, according to my landscape people, are not a natural thing for Nebraska. We don't have granite boulders around here, but we do have sandstone, and that's what we want to start seeing around the pond for ledges, also maybe in the water for stepping stones. Big thing is the waterfall feature that we're gonna be building and showing where the water flows back into the pond and then comes back through the pump house. So with that, that's what we'll be showing you here in the near future, the next video. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get everything all done here before the end of the year. There's plants, and those are certain things we can't plant till the spring, but we should have, I would say, 90% of it done. You guys let me know what you think. What kind of fun stuff should I add, such as maybe a zip line? Do I need to, I think a slide would be kind of cool. I don't know how to incorporate a natural looking slide into the pond. There's a lot of fun stuff that we should include to make this a place to hang out. The funner it is, the cooler it is, the less likelihood I gotta build my wife a swimming pool. There's the key. I need that money from the pool to finish building my pond. So thanks for watching. Reach out to me, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I want to get to the 100,000 mark. Think you could help me get there? I'm hanging tight in the low 80,000 range. So I love hearing from you. Thanks for watching. I'm Brad the Builder. I'll see you guys on the next job site.